Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Clash of Queens, where we answer your best and worst A Song of Ice and Fire questions. Today, we will discuss Bran the Time Traveler, Sansa and Tyrion's marriage, famous swords, and the symbolism of Cyrus. First off, I want to start by saying 1 week late, happy birthday, hiking through with Steffi. I'm really sorry we postponed last week, and I really want to wish you a happy birthday, but here I do it now. So
Me
my
too.
name,
We have a happy birthday. Also, we're late.
happy birthday. Okay, my name is Anne, also known as Sweet YFT, and as you can see, I only have one gorgeous co-host with me at the moment. But Tinker, just introduce yourself.
Hello. As you probably know me by now because we've done a few of this already, I'm Tinker Jasso. And I'm very happy to be here, even if we're only two. This video has seemed a bit cursed. There's been a lot of things that have been getting in the way, but Sweet and I decided that no matter what, everything, even if it's gone wrong, we were gonna start just the two of us and screw everything that's gone wrong, and hopefully Nico will join us sometime later, and maybe even T2. So let's cross our fingers to see if we can start having some good luck and the other girls can join us.
Yeah, no, we've all had. We're very sorry we had to cancel last week, and we've had to move the time of the one this week. Yeah, we've had a shitload of problems, and we're all in a pretty much terrible mood. But I think we're both happy to be here and very happy to be here with you. As always, I'm going to start with a couple of announcements before we get started. So, first of all, thank you to all of you who submitted questions, and please continue to do so. As you know, you can reach us on all social medias, and all of the links are in the description box. You can send us your questions at any time on any of them, and if you want to make sure that we say them for the video, just use the hashtag ACOQ, a Clash of Queens. Also, a big thank you to all of you who have subscribed to Hype Swat channel. You are, I mean, oh my god, I realize my notes are from last week. Last week you were 150, and we are very, very grateful for your support. Um, as you can see, oh, sorry. Sorry, like I said, rough start. As you can see, I added the previous Clash of Queens installments on the Hype Squad channel, where it will be hosted from now on. And I also added the timestamps to the previous videos, so you can go back and find exactly the time when we're discussing a specific topic if you're just interested in one questions. Regarding the upcoming videos, we have no news for the next Feast for Bros, unfortunately. If you want the guys to come back very quickly for Feast for Bros, you have to like tell them. Um, but our next chapter we read will be next week on December 19th at 2 p.m. as usual, and we will be discussing A Dance with Dragons, Bran 3. And I am really excited because Bran is my favorite character, as some of you might already know. And thank to you all who voted on the poll that we did on Google Plus and I think also on Twitter to help us decide which branch chapter we're going to study. I like the idea of letting you guys decide through polls. So if like let us know if you like that, and I will probably create a poll again for the next one or another one.
Huh, that's curious because they didn't choose the chapter that you wanted them to choose, did they, Sweet?
No, no, they did not. But actually, the chapter I really, really wanted to study was not even in the poll because you in the you remember like a while back we had asked you guys in the comments to let us know what chapters you would like for us to discuss, and so the four choices I put in the polls were the one that you had suggested. And no, my favorite brand chapter is absolutely for the life of me cannot remember the number, but it's the one with the Knight of the Laughing Tree story.
No one said your chapter. Oh, poor Sweet.
Yeah, no, but it's a great chapter. You know, it's a very good chapter. Do, Is there anything you want to add, Tinker, before we start?
Not really. I don't really have any announcements. It's just before Christmas, and I love Christmas, and I never think anything further than Christmas. I just want Christmas to come, and then I'll be back for New Year's because I'm going back home, and then we can start planning and doing and talking and doing things.
Yes. That, me too. Me too. Actually, today I bought my Christmas tree, and
Ooh,
yes, and we started doing a little bit of arrangement. And today was supposed to be Christmas present wrapping day, so that's what I'm going to do once we're done with the video. Finish
cool.
all the little decorations.
Until I get back home, I won't have Christmas tree or decorations, but I did get my Christmas tickets home, which I think is much more important because I wouldn't get home without them.
Yes. Okay. Maybe we can start with the first question that is from Sir Don Willi. Is Don Willi there with us?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think. Oh, we have Lady Sansa. I'm really glad you could join us this time.
And Joshua Balak? Tell me if I didn't say that well. Not good with names. James Thunderclap. And of course, Jerry.
Yes. Hello, Jerry.
And hacking through with Steffi. And I don't think I've missed anyone. No, but not Don, no Don Willi.
Oh, Don Willi. Well, the first question is by Sir Don Willi, and it's referencing one of his videos that I hope you've seen before, and I linked it in the description box. So the question is, based upon my Bran the time traveler theory, do you think it's possible that Coldhands was reanimated a long time ago by Bran while the White Walkers were sleeping and has been waiting north of the wall for all that time to bring him to Bloodraven? Very good question. Um, I'm sorry, I need to grab my quotes. Okay, first off, I know I'm going to be a little bit of a tease with this one. So that question is mostly based on A Dance with Dragons, Bran's last chapter. So the one we're going to study next week. And so I'm going to give you elements of my answer, but I don't want to spoil everything I have to say for next week, which I know you're not going to be very happy about that, but it's
First, Street, I have a question. Are you a believer of the Bran time traveler theory?
I'm going to say it's complicated. I'm a believer of Bran the hero's archetype theory.
Well, but that doesn't mean that he's a time traveler. I'm sorry, but I love time traveling stories. But this just it seems so wrong in Game of Thrones to me. If there actually exists time traveling, one of the things that I like about Game of Thrones is that the consequences are always so harsh. You know, in some fantasy stories or whatever, there's barely any consequences to people, the things that people seem to do. You're like, oh well, this happens and whatever, it's not so bad, but there are really harsh consequences. It's very dangerous. You have to be very careful about what you do in that world because literally your whole world could end. And there's people whose entire world has ended because they've made a stupid mistake. If time travel exists, it I take away a bit of that. And it also takes away, well, it might take away a lot of the effort. You know, if he kind of just sent, if he reanimated Coldhands and sent him to him, it takes away a lot of the gravitas, the seriousness, the danger of that world. And I don't want time travel to exist in this world. I just don't. Also, since when does he have power to reanimate people? He has the ability to work, to green sea, but no, I'm not a fan of the time traveler theory. I don't believe it, and I've got a quote from that chapter to back me up.
Okay, go ahead with your quote because I don't want to steal your quote.
Let me find it. I've got the. Uh,
So just while you're looking for it, yes, okay, potentially. Okay, I've always kind of thought like that's. I've never really searched it, but my gut feeling concerning Cold Hand. I know, like Kraken totally disagrees with me and he thinks like he's a real entity, but for me, Cold Hands is a dead corpse that is a warg. That has always been my gut's feeling. So
Yeah, I agree with you in that.
and I know, I mean, it's not something I've researched a lot. I don't have any like I don't think anyone really has quotes to back that up anyway, but I don't have any proof of that. That's just the way I feel. So if Bran is like the most powerful warg, maybe like I mean, if you go into, I'm not really, I don't believe, for all the reason you stated, I don't either believe that there's time travel per se in the classical sense of time traveling stories, but like future Bran could warg Cold Hands if he's powerful enough. Okay, did you find your quote?
I don't know where I've lost it. You go ahead and I'll
Okay, I forgot. I'm gonna put it afterwards. I have prepared. There's a also I would like to tell everyone who might not have watched it, there's a really, really interesting video by T Baby. I really, really wish she was here today to discuss that because that's a question I really wanted. We've discussed it like on comments, but I really wanted to talk it live with her. Um, there's a John chapter that might allude a little bit to possible not time traveling, but that's an example of Bran clearly reaching to one of his family member and directly talking to him. It's a John chapter. Of course, I'm totally unprepared, so I didn't write down which one. It's is in the passes with like Quarren Halfhand and all that group after it was sent there away from the main group that was at the Feast of the First Man to get some like a special ranging party that would get some intels on what Mance and the wildling army is doing, and he's sleeping and it's basically a wolf dream. So John is in Ghost and Bran talks to Ghost through uh Weirwood, and it's really funny. We see the Weirwood move and evolve, and then the dreams fade into the ranging, I mean, not the ranging, then Ghost is somewhere else and sees the army, and that's when he's attacked by Orel's eagle.
I find my quote.
Or yeah, yes. Oh, sorry.
He heard a whisper on the wind, a rustling among the leaves. You cannot speak to him. Try as you might. I know. I have my own ghost Bran, a brother that I loved, a brother that I hated, a woman that I desired. Through the trees I see them still, but no word of mine has ever reached them. The past remains the past. We can learn from it, but we cannot change it.
Yeah. Well,
We
yes.
cannot change it. Cannot. No, 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 no. Cannot.
Yeah, but then like Don Willi, I know in his video argues, and a lot of people argue that Bloodraven is really like compared to Bran, like Bran is so much more powerful than Bloodraven ever was and ever will be, even just now at the beginning. So yes, no, I like that quote, and I have another quote, obviously from the same chapter to add to that.
Yeah, there's
So
quite a lot more. Once you master your gift, you may look where you will and see what the trees have been, be it yesterday or last year or 1,000 ages past. Men live their lives trapped in an eternal present between the mist of memory and the sea of shadow. That is all we know of the days to come. Certain months come, there's a lot. It never says, I do not believe that he can go back. I do not, I do not, I do not. It doesn't matter power. Like the laws, he says that the laws are pretty fixed. If he cannot change it, it doesn't matter if he has the power to see a lot more. The trees can only see. They cannot affect the lives of men.
no, yes, on that. Oh, sorry for the echo. On that, I totally, totally, totally agree. Um, I'm sorry. So I was going back to what I was saying before. So we know from that John chapter that Bran can reach and can reach one of his siblings and talk to him. It's not, according to the timeline, it's not time traveling because when John has this uh, this dream through ghosts of Bran talking to him, Bran is in the cave, and when we have the next Bran chapter in the cave, he says that his third eye opened while he was not the cave. I'm sorry, guys, the crypts. In he is hiding. It's at the end of a Clash of Kings. He is hiding in the Winterfell crypts, and he says that his third eye has opened. So he already has a lot of power at that point. A lot of power. He has enough power with no werewolf paste, no Bloodraven training, enough power to talk through space to his brother. That's really really fucking impressive. So we have that, and I lost my train of thought. That always happens to me. That's why I do script everything I have to say, because otherwise I just totally forget what I want to say. I want to before going back to our the quote you were talking about, Tinker, I want to talk about something else. Oh yeah, Winds of Winter, Theon sample chapters. So again, no time traveling because we have no idea of the timeline of Bran. We at that point, so we cannot say it is or it is not time traveling. But we're, it's pretty. I mean, I feel, maybe feel free to disagree in the comments. Uh, I, Sweet YFT, feel that it's pretty clearly Bran trying to communicate to Theon through the crows, and thus in a way trying to influence the future events doing that. you know he says tree, 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 like Stannis go and sacrifice Theon to the tree. So I can see Bran trying to influence the events. So I think I've already said that. I agree with you, Tinker. Time, like, this story is about action having consequences. We totally agree on that. And that, like, Back to the Future style time traveling, or like, oh yeah, you're gonna save your mom and dad, and everything is gonna be all happy and peachy, and that's not Game of Thrones. Like,
No,
Ned
that's
is
a completely different genre.
definitely, but like, to me, I don't feel that totally excludes right from the bat the idea of time traveling, because, as I say again and again and again, and I'm rambling about that, like in the Winds of Winter, I think every Stark child is gonna have access to some sort of power. And the question is gonna be like, with great powers comes great
Great
responsibilities.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Ah, using a Spider-Man quote.
Yeah.
I'm proud,
I'm
sweet.
sorry,
I'm
I thought it was
proud.
from Superman, but I know the quote.
Close enough.
Yeah, exactly. They're both DC, right?
No, one
No,
is Marvel, the other DC.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But they do
Oh,
have the same colors. They both use red and blue.
yeah, yeah. So I think, yeah, in war we're gonna see everyone having to be faced with a dilemma of new powers and new possibilities, and are they gonna use them? Are they gonna use them for, good, evil reason? And there's gonna be a lot of internal conflict about those possibilities. And Bran's conflict is gonna be like, it's not gonna be him fighting and kicking ass. Is he doesn't have legs and he's stuck in a freaking cave. So it's going to be about his ability to control events and other people through his magical powers.
That
So,
I completely agree. I also think that all the Stark children are linked because they're all wargs as well.
mhm,
Even Sansa, who doesn't have the ability because she lost Lady, it doesn't mean that it's still not there. It's just she hasn't had access to it. And I think that in a way, like the wolves are kind of linked, and so then they're also kind of linked. And I think that they're also gonna learn little by little. And I think that I think what Bran, instead of time travel, I think, since he explains how the trees live differently.
mhm.
For men, time is a river. We're trapped in its flow, hurling through past to present, always in the same direction. The lives of trees are different. They are root and grow and die in one place, and that river does not move for them. So I think that he's going to be able to see things that are going to happen. And with that, the choices are going to be how he can try to influence those things. And we've already seen he can control Warg into Hodor,
Mm-mm-mm.
which is very invasive. It looks very cool, the whole, warging. It looks pretty impressive. But I remember seeing, I don't know if it was a comment in one of my videos or one of ours, of someone saying that he thought that warging was one of the most disturbing powers that he's seen in Game of Thrones. And I had not thought about it at all until I remember reading it again and realizing that he's using Hodor as his own body meat thing to move around and to be able to explore the things that he can do. And the more powerful that he grows, then he might be able to also warg into people that are not, well, mentally challenged,
That's
and be able to take them over. And if he knows what certain things are going to happen in the future, imagine if he's just being able to take over other people for them to change. And it's a lot of power, especially for someone who's that young,
yeah.
because he is a kid. They're all children, yes, they're forced to grow up faster in this world, but he's still a child that a lot of things have happened to, a child that is going to be stuck in that cave forever, because I believe he's going to be stuck there forever. You have different. Right now, he
Mm-mm.
believes that he's stuck there forever, and even if he's not, just the thought that he's going to be there forever, not being able to walk, and suddenly realizing that he has that power with his entire family spread out, his parents killed, everything that's happened, all the rage that he must have inside that he has not access to, because when you're surviving, it's survival. And survival takes over. But once he starts resting, once he starts really seeing what's happened to his family, and then to be able to see that he can do something about it, whoa.
No, I definitely agree with you on that. And yeah, I'm reading the comments, and Alicia and Steffi, yeah, they were just to go back to Sansa. I want to say that yes, I agree with you, and I tend more and more, especially after reading Wings of Winter sample chapter, to believe that yes, she does have some ability to sort of work people the way Bran does on a different scale. But yes, I think that's gonna get into play. And to go back to it, yeah, I mean, yeah, yes, it's like freaking mental rape. I think a lot of you guys have watched Jessica Jones, where the big evil guy is someone who can mind control you. And
Oh, yeah.
well, Brad is not evil, he's a kid and was being left to his own device, well, on
Devices.
device, yeah, a pretty young age, so he doesn't have all of the knowledge of what is right and what is wrong. He's not evil, but he might do evil things just as a kid left to his own wood. And he can mind control people. Right now, just order, but he's just starting to learn how to use his powers.
And it's also a danger. You're like, oh, well, I know that the line of the limit is there. I'll just go a little bit close. Then you get a bit closer and like, oh, I'm gonna step it just once. It's an emergency. And like, oh well, I've already done it once. What happens if you do it twice? And then it starts getting dangerous, because the more you do, the less you're like, oh, it starts. I think people kind of desensitize to things. The more you do it, the less oh well, I've done it. It hasn't had consequences. So keep you doing more and more and more and more, and then you kind of realize, and then it's too late when you realize it, and it's very dangerous, especially because his parents aren't there anymore to tell him what's right and what's wrong. Jorgen is gonna leave. He thinks he's gonna die, and Mira is obviously very sad and just doesn't know what's going on. Bloodraven is just some old guy for him that is in the roots, and God knows how long he's actually gonna live.
Yeah, and Blood
So
Raven is evil.
I don't think he's evil.
I think he's evil. I mean, that's not to this topic, but no, I think he's pretty darn evil. Like in the Duncan Hags, he only comes out as evil.
Yeah, but I want to believe that he changed once he go into the tree, because I don't think that the tree would accept someone who's evil. And yes, if he was evil and he had that power, he would have already used it to do God knows what.
Yeah, maybe he's been using it to do God knows what. Don't.
No. No, I'm a big fan of the old gods and the trees, and I don't want to believe. So until the books prove me wrong, I'm sticking to my theory.
Yes, I like that. I don't want to believe. Okay, and so to finish, because like I said, I'm gonna get a lot more into it when we're gonna be studying this specific
Yeah, because we're going
Dance
to be
with
talking
Dragons.
in depth about this chapter in the next video.
Yes, yes, yeah. But the quote you just gave us about the way the trees perceive things, the past, pretty much the past, the present, those are not concepts that make sense to the trees, to nature. And we, so yeah, just pretty much what I'm always rambling on about Brown, why I think he's getting out of the Weirwood cave. And I'm sorry for you guys who've already heard me talk about that again and again and again. It is because to me, Bran's storyline, like 99.9% fits the archetype of Joseph Campbell. Okay, that's the hero with a thousand faces.
Yeah, I know
And
that book.
yes, and yeah, there's so, I mean, it's so so many things are just the classical hero's quest that are in Bran's story. That is pretty much, that's why it's so boring, because it's pretty much stripped down of all the other of the excitements that other characters have, to be like purely arche an archetype.
Archetypal.
Yes, yes, sorry.
Yeah, don't
um
worry.
and yeah, basically the whole point of that thing is that the hero's journey is like when when he reaches the dark place, whatever it is, it's to discover the difference between like, it's a little complicated to sum up quickly right now, but that like human perception of time is just an illusion, that life and death are just a big thing. They're the same thing in part of the big circle. So so to go back, yes, I mean Bran, yes, he cannot go back in time, and he can time travel, and he cannot time travel just because he's gonna figure out that time does not exist for reals. And that's what he's going to learn in the Werewolf Cave, like the cyclical nature of life. That has been hinted a lot in all of his previous chapters. And like, I believe that he's going to get out of the Werewolf Cave because I believe that's like what he needs to do to complete. Not that he's going to do something great, or he's going to be heroic, or it's going to be even a good thing for him. Maybe it's going to be a horrible thing for him, but I believe he's going to get out because that's how he completes his full hero cycle. And that, according to archetypes, he needs to get out of, hell, or the dark place, or the other world, or the island, or whatever it is.
I actually think that's why he's not actually, getting out. He always wants to do like a different twist. Like if he gets archetypes, but he always throws like a wrench somewhere there. And I think that with the whole bittersweet thing that he wants to end it in, which just absolutely, just that word coming out from J.R. Martin's mouth absolutely terrifies me. So I think just because of that, that's the reason why he's getting stuck in that cave.
Yeah, but again, if he's coming out in something like a post apocalypse, I mean, like I said, I don't think it's going to be a happy ending for Bran. But it's not necessarily happy that he gets out of the cave. Usually in those those stories, it's not even happy. He gets out and he's shunned, and he feels isolated from the rest of people. And yes, I'm not again saying that him leaving that cave is going to be a happy thing for him. It could be a very miserable thing. It could be a lot worse than being stuck there. I just think that,
Probably knowing J.R. Martin.
yes. So I'm not saying he's going to be happy. I'm going to say it's going to be part of his cycle because it makes narrative sense to me. So yeah, I mean, time traveling, yes, no. To go back to give an answer to Don Willi, yes and no, just because there's no time. Time is just an illusion.
I say a firm no.
I have not really been able to look at the comments. have anyone in the comments been discussing that? Uh, TV Torment versus Oberyn. No, Jerry, that's not what we're talking about. Um,
Yeah, that was before we started.
um, is Bran unhappy if he's living in a virtual sort of world? Sorry, God, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm terrible today. Is Bran unhappy if he's living in a virtual world of sorts, able to walk or fly through others? No, I think, yeah, I mean, like Ellen, I think, yeah, that's why I think getting out is not going to be a happy thing for him. Yeah, I think, he's going to be pretty happy with his swell powers. He loves being in the dark. We have that quote. Bloodraven tells him, "Oh yeah, don't be afraid of the dark." But even before, like the chapter I was telling you about when he's in the crypts of Winterfell, I mean, like at that point, Bran tells John, like, "Oh, don't be sad for me. I like the dark." So he's gonna be, I think Bran is actually gonna get to a point where he's pretty happy in his little cave. It's warm in the cave. He gets, he has food and he can do a lot of cool things. Like, yeah,
Yeah, but
living in a
I
virtual.
think he's happy because he's hiding away from the reality that hurts him. But that's not really life.
Yeah,
People do it even in here in the real world. When things are crappy, you just hide in your room and just do your stuff and whatever and ignore them. But that's not real living. That's not real experiences. So it's not. So sometimes you think it's happiness, but it's not really happiness. It's just bottling up all of your emotions and not facing the truth. Sometimes it might hurt a bit more to leave the cave, but in the long run, you can have actual true happiness while staying in the cave is not.
yes, and yeah, I agree. So I don't know if going out you will find happiness. I'm certainly not saying that, and I doubt it. Knowing how the books have been going so far, maybe they're gonna get happier afterwards. I don't know. We can be hopeful, but yes, I think he's gonna have to face reality again at some point, like bring something back to humanity.
I think that yeah, there'll be hard moments because it's George's book, but you can also find good moments. Even the first book before the whole world war starts, they have bad moments, but they also had good moments as a family. And I think that as long as the siblings get together, yeah, they'll still have a lot of things to overcome, especially God knows what a mess that world is going to be in the end. But just those moments in which they are together and they're happy, even if they don't last that long, they'll be a lot more satisfying than his little cave, especially because he's still going to have his powers. It's not as his powers are going to fade the moment that he leaves the tree. He's still got that beautiful werewolf tree on Winterfell.
Mhm. Definitely, I agree. Anything we want to add to that question?
No, I'm pretty happy, especially because we're gonna really delve in much more in it in the next chapter, and we talk about everything now.
Yes, yes, I know. This was we're and again, like I was really hoping for T. Well, I hopefully she'll join. She'll be there next Saturday, and so you can hear all of her thoughts on Branch chapter. And yeah, no, we were hoping Nicolina will join us, but we still have not. She has technical problems, and we have no news from her right now. So we're gonna move on to question number two. Do you want to go ahead, Tinker?
How do you think the issue of Sansa and Tyrion's marriage may play out, or is it a non-issue? I actually think there's gonna be a very big issue when it comes later, especially because he has a tendency of making things happen that it looks like it's going to be for one purpose, and then later on you realize, fuck, that's why he really did it, you sneaky bastard, you tried to trick me. And the whole all of the, like, I've always thought that this Game of Thrones was like a little chess game between Littlefinger and Varys. They seem to be the ones that are really playing in a different way than the rest of the others, because they don't have like their own house, and they technically have nothing to read. They couldn't really get their asses on that chair. They don't have families that can marry other people. They don't really have armies. Well, Littlefinger is actually really managing to get all of that. But he's really managing to get all of that through his marriage to Lysa and now with Sansa. And most of his plans right now center on the key factor of her, but is on marrying her. We've already seen the sample chapter of The Winds of Winter. For those of you who haven't seen it, I warn you, it's when she meets Harold Harding and has that little dance. I really love that chapter. I really like it. You can start. That is the Sansa that I want to see in the bloody show. A Sansa that is smarter, that is sneakier, that has learned her lessons from Littlefinger, how she can read him and manage. It was really good.
Oh, and that manipulates people like an evil mastermind.
Yeah, she's trying to be really good. And well, that marriage wouldn't really be legal the moment that Tyrion comes back, because she's married already. And Tyrion is gonna come back. We already know that. And it's just, I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna play out, because he has a way of really messing with all the plans, with all the things that I think are gonna happen. I'm not capable of predicting him long term. Really long term. Because he always throws wrenches everywhere, blasted man. But I'm certainly 100% sure that Tyrion's appearance, because that's why he made him appear like he was the one who killed Joffrey. He wanted him dead so he can have a free Sansa. And the moment that he comes, he's gonna implode all of Littlefinger's plans. Or at least I'm hoping, because I really hate Littlefinger. Like one of my most hated characters, with Ramsay and Roose and the Freys.
And Tywin.
Yeah, but Tywin's already dead. And he died by his dwarf son on the toilet. I was very, very pleased with George with that one. What a humiliating death, just what he deserved. And I know that Tywin was a cool character, and I know a lot of people like him. But it's the truth. He deserved that death.
Oh, that was a beautiful, beautiful moment. Okay, to the question. First off, little disclaimer: I am quite a Tyrion and Sansa shipper myself. Like, I like them because I like them. I think they could really be like a good ruling power couple. Like,
They would be a good ruling couple.
yeah, like Jaehaerys and Alysanne. Like good, like where they would. I think they both have good ruling quality, so it would be like ideal. Yeah, in my ideal happy ending that I really don't think is gonna happen. Yeah, I could see them like ruling something together, like kick-ass, really working together and being great at it. But to answer that question, first we forgot to say that it was a question by Mary Harrison. Hi, Mary, and thank you for your question. So yeah, to answer that, I guess we must first give a look at Tyrion's previous marriage with Tysha, because how could his marriage with Sansa be legal if he's still married, even if he was already married? So what do we know? Actually, like one of the first time we learn about the circumstances of the wedding is through Sansa's POV in Storms of Swords, Sansa 3. And Tyrion says, the first time I wed, there was us and a drunken septon and some pigs to bear witness. So I guess, yeah, we could argue that if George wants that, I mean, like, how would you ever find the drunken septon again? Like his marriage to Sansa was made very, very public in front of the whole court at King's Landing, and that was just done in some barn with a drunk septon, and so it would be very easy to annul.
Also, I imagine that Tywin, being who he is, he would have made certain that either there was no one to remember that marriage, or would have just annulled it.
Well, I mean, on that I'm not sure, because like at the crossbow scene, it's right after. So Jamie just came out of the wood and said, "Oh no, I mean, I lied to you. She was not a whore. It was just exactly the way you thought it was, and my father made me do it and made me tell you that she was a whore."
Coward.
So yes, Tyrion is pretty enraged, and that's the first thing he's thinking about when he kills his father is, I want to find my bride. I want to find my Taisha. Like, where is she? And so he asked, what did you do with Taisha? And Tywin's like, Taisha? He does not even remember her name. The girl I married. Oh yes, your first whore. Taisha, what did you do with her after my little lesson? I don't recall. And then so he's threatening him with the crossbow. Try harder. Did you ever killed? His father pursed his lips. There was no reason for that. She had learned her place and had been well paid for her day's work, I seem to recall. I suppose the steward sent her on her way. I never thought to inquire. So it's left very open, not only, I mean, yes, to torture Tyrion, but also I like the way I see it, Tywin, no, Tywin was thought so little of those people that I don't think he would have tracked down the Septon, the drunk Septon, or that, he thought, yeah, those hardly exist. They're ghosts of human beings. They're just small folks. I don't need to care about them. So
True.
it's a very small, there's a very small chance for that to happen, but still, if he's still, if Taisha is still alive, and we know she has not been killed by Tywin, that his marriage to Sansa was never legal in the first place.
But you would have to find Taisha first. She would have to appear. And then would she want to go back to Tyrion after what happened to her?
Yeah, no, probably not. But I don't know. I'm not a specialist on those kind of rulings, but if
Well,
couldn't Tyrion say, "Hey, you know, um, I thought my previous wedding had been annulled, but it had not, so my wedding to Sansa was not legal." Like as much as I would want, like a Sansa and Tyrion power couple, I don't think it's gonna work out that way, and I think Mary that for it to, I mean, that there needs to be an annulment of that marriage.
also, to be fair, their marriage was never consummated, and consummation is necessary for a marriage to be finalized. Until
Agree.
the consummation happens, a marriage can be annulled. So it depends if Tyrion appears before she's married and Littlefinger hasn't gotten under her skirts, that dirty bastard. But if that hasn't happened and they can prove that she's still a maiden, it would be very easy to annul her marriage to Tyrion. I don't actually think they're gonna end up together. I really don't think so. I just think it's really gonna throw a wrench into Littlefinger's plans because I think he's so smug and think that he has control over everything. And I just think that Tyrion is gonna be the one that is just gonna upset all his plans. But I don't think they're gonna end up together. And I've got to admit, I like Tyrion, but Tyrion has really gotten on my nerves the moment that he left King's Landing. He has been devolving, and some of the moments that he's had, I just want to slap him. They haven't, if you notice in the show, they haven't shown him that different because they want to keep it, because he's so popular that they want to keep him likable. But he's not that likable in the books. He's done a lot of things in the books that are quite reprehensible. The fact that he's funny and clever and just sneaky and so entertaining is what keeps people liking Tyrion. But he's done a lot of things that, boy, they don't make him a good person, not anymore. So I don't think if I would actually, that's the part that I'm not certain if I would like for them to see them to. You know how I am. You know that I know that world is not black and white, but there's some certain shades of gray that just
They
no.
hurt you.
I don't. It's my mom is a lawyer. Justice is very ingrained in my family, and I cannot. It's difficult for me to swallow when people act in certain ways and just so badly and so unjust against others. And just, it's difficult. No, no.
No, I agree. Well, okay, just to go back to Littlefinger, um, unlike Show Littlefinger, was very stupid all of a sudden and like, yeah, oh, let's marry Sansa to Ramsay. I don't know who is this bastard.
Let's not keep anyone there to check up on her to make certain nothing.
Bad TV show, bad TV show. But so, Book Littlefinger is not stupid. He knows that's an issue. He has planned it. Like, we don't exactly, like, pretty much the way I see it, I'm not even sure he plans on going through with the marriage per se. Like, he needs to have everybody in attendance. Anyway, he's on paper he's supposed to marry Elaine Stone, Harry the Hare, and he wants everyone in the Vale in attendance to have the big reveal of her being Sansa Stark, and to have them have to pledge their fealty to her. But he knows that she cannot marry him like that. So I mean, he must have a backup plan.
Well,
So
I think his plan is to annul the marriage because it has not been consummated. That is the thing. But also, I think that, yeah, Littlefinger is very clever, but he's not all powerful. Just because he looks like he's always 10 steps ahead of people, and because he tends to be 10 steps ahead of people, it doesn't mean the things always go his way. It's one of the things that I like about George. He doesn't have any single character whose things go 100% always their way. I think he intended for Tyrion to die, and the fact that he didn't was something that didn't go his way, and something that eventually I think is going to bite him back in the ass, because I think Tyrion is going to find out what he did, and we know that Tyrion is not very forgiving, not when it comes to his life. So yeah, he's very clever, and I'm sure that the fact that he knows that it hasn't been consummated is going to be his plan to have it annulled. But I think that if the problem was when people are so clever and so arrogant, and everything seems to have worked so much on their side, they start to believe that they're invincible. Their hubris like takes over, and I think that Tyrion is going to be the one thing that is just gonna smash all of his plans to pieces, because he's also very clever.
yeah, or another way, like there are a lot of speculations on the fact that during that tourney, the mountain clans that have been armed by Tyrians in Book 2 could attack the Vale at that point, and it would be another way for, in a different way for Tyrion to just screw Littlefinger's plans, if his mountain clans, I mean, they're not under his order anymore, but he armed them to be able to do that back then, and that would be cool. That would be really cool.
Also, I think that when they originally married, I felt so. I know a lot of people do not like Sansa, even naive Sansa. I always felt sorry for her, and I always had a lot of compassion for her, because she was just a little girl that God screwed over so much. Like, come on. All those people that talk badly about her, I would like to see how they would act when they're 11 and they were so sheltered. Like, it's easy to criticize, but she did very well taking account of the situation. And when they originally married, Tyrion was kind of forced to take his family side, because, well, what did he have if he did not have his family? And she was just too hurt and too beaten and still too naive to be able to see who Tyrion really was. The situation is going to be very different when Tyrion comes back. Tyrion is no longer going to be on his family's side because family has screwed him over. Even Jaime was like the only one he truly loved. He's not happy with him either. Sansa, by now, has already learned a lot from Littlefinger, which means a very different Tyrion and a very different Sansa will be meeting. So this is really going to change the dynamic between the two of them. It's not going to be a shy little Sansa that is afraid of Tyrion and not talking to him. And it's going to be a very different Sansa. A Sansa that might decide to choose that her husband is a better option than Littlefinger.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I don't even think she was that. I don't know. I need to I mean, full disclosure, I haven't reread those Sunset chapter in a really, really long time because no, she's not my favorite character. But the way I remember it, and maybe I'm misremembering it, like she was not that. It's not that much that she was shy around Tyrion. She was just a mix of disgusted by him and so angry and I mean not like against the Lannisters that she wanted to punish him.
But also afraid. There's a moment that he says, "I'm the littlest of the Lannisters," but she thinks still a Lannister. The name haunted him. It when they were together. No matter what he said, that name it still scared her. And whatever she did, whatever she couldn't be honest. She couldn't talk to him. Oh, the queen is tormenting me, and she could already see it coming out from her mouth into his ears and coming out of his mouth into the queen's ears.
Yeah, but I don't know if he was, I don't know, like she seemed more angry to me than afraid. Like she was angry with Tyrion for being a Lannister, even though he was the littlest of Lannisters. But again, I would need to reread those chapters.
I think she was both. She was also very, very disappointed that
Hmm.
she didn't. A part of me is curious of what would have happened if she'd have gone with the Tyrells and Willis. Like, because they kind of looked at the beginning like they were going to be her saviors, and they seemed like to be like the ideal for her, high garden surrounded by roses and flowers and stuff. But they really used her, and the moment that she got married to Tyrion, Marjorie abandoned her. Like, she's also a lot more likable in the show than she is in the books. She completely abandoned her. Garland was the one that did not, that walked her to the wedding and said, "Oh, he can also be a kind man," and tried to like cheer him up. Yeah, I really like Garland. Poor guy with that family. I don't think they're also as good as a family as they appear to be. But I don't know if her life would have been as idyllic as she thinks it would be.
Hmm. Yeah. No, no. I mean, probably not. But I don't know why Willis. Well, who said that? Oh God, I'm sorry. I totally cannot remember where I heard that recently. But maybe a podcast of Ice and Fire. But why is that guy not married yet? Like, like making us suspect like there's something wrong about him that we don't know. Like, why is the hair
Air.
yeah, I'm trying to I not butcher English too much.
The
Why is
future Lord of Highgarden.
the future lord of High Garden not married?
Well, I always had the idea that the fact that he was a cripple, that they would like, even if he was the heir, cripples and stuff, that they're really looked down on in this world. And honestly, I cannot. This is just a theory of mine. I always thought that his father preferred his other sons, and was kind of hoping that it might not go to Willis. But
Mm,
that's just my own theory.
that's interesting. I
It's
never thought
not
of that.
it's not based on anything that's in the books, but it's just the way that he is, the way that he talks, so pompous, so good, and suddenly to have his eldest heir a cripple, it's because no.
Mm,
Because Garland is already married.
yeah,
Lars is his absolute favorite, but he's in a white cloak,
yeah,
so
and
he can protect his precious Marjorie.
in Marjorie thrice, twice. Poor Tommen, twice a widow already. So she's been, married 3 times, and yeah, and the
Poor
future
Tommen.
lord is yet not married.
Garland the gallant, but lots of people like him. He would be a good lord.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I think we're seeing them in the next book, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, he's one of the characters that I'm very, very curious about. I'm very, very curious about because I also think that he's gonna be a bit different to the rest of the family. Hmm. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll see in the next chapter. But I definitely think that Tyrion is gonna make Littlefinger's plans, smash them to smithereens. He's not gonna completely destroy them because I think Littlefinger's gonna be very difficult to get rid of.
And you want Sunset to do that.
But I'm kind of hoping Sansa will push him off the moon door. It'd be a fitting end. He would be together with his beloved Lysa.
Yeah, yeah. That would. I don't know. I mean, yeah, yeah. That would be a little too simplistic, not simplistic, but black and white for my liking. But hey, I totally respect your
But
point.
it's very romantic. He would follow his wife to the afterlife.
Yeah. Oh, poor Lysa. I feel bad for Lysa. She's horrible,
I
but
don't. She
I
was a
know.
selfish little girl who never accepted that things were not the way that she wanted them to be and did not want to see reality
That
and
sounds
was
like
willing
Sansa.
to screw up her. Yes, but Sansa never did it in a bad, like she never intentionally wanted to be vicious and just then felt sorry for when she was 11, not like 15 or so.
Yeah.
And she never blamed her family. She even wants to rejoin Arya and feel sad that Arya is gone while she was all, oh, my father, that horrible man, and she's talking badly about Catelyn. She's just all poison against. She has no love for anyone except for herself, and not even Littlefinger. She doesn't really love Littlefinger. She's obsessed with Littlefinger because it's the one thing that she wanted, that she thought Cat had taken away with him, but like since it makes her believe that he chose her over Cat, it's like the one thing that she'd won over Cat.
Well, she's a horrible mother, but she loved Robert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Robin.
sweet Robin. Yeah.
Sweet Robin. He was Robert or Robin or
No,
Sweet Robin?
it's Robert, Aaron.
Robert Aaron.
Yeah, sweet Robin. But I.
So used to Sweet Robin that I just think of Robin instead of Robert.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know me too, but I know like some people tend to correct that a lot in the comments, so I try to get that to stick in my head. To not get the his name is not Robin. Um. Okay, like dear people watching us, I'm not. I'm sorry. It's really tough when we're only two people. Like when we're a bunch, we can always have one of us keeping an eye on the comments. But when it's only two people, it's more difficult. So what did you guys have to say? So Jerry's annoyed by Sansa, but Jerry's just a hater. So yeah, I
Oh,
um
she was not only thinking about herself, Jerry. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. She's young and she's flawed, but I think that you're too harsh.
they were talking about Rob and the marriage alliance with the phrase.
Yeah, but
Um,
Rob was also young and he got manipulated. Come on, Rob against Tywin's manipulations, he never stood a chance. Poor kid.
so yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, Arya was supposed to marry that Frey. Yeah,
That would have been funny to see. Something tells me that he would not have survived long with Arya
no.
as his wife. Something tells me that he would not have survived long.
Oh, JD. Hey, JD. Good morning.
Ah, hello.
Come and have breakfast with us. Okay. Well, still, I don't think we still have no news from Nicolina. But we'll power through and move on to question number 3. Unless you have anything to add to that.
No. I'm
No.
pretty happy.
So yeah, oh yeah, to sum up my answer, yeah, so my answer to Mary's question is I really would like for them to stay married and rule together, like rule Casterly Rock together, or
Or
even
the
like
Seven Kingdoms.
yeah. Well, I don't think they'll be the Seven Kingdoms, but yeah, like a big
Yeah, you and I are not in agreement with that.
yes, but like a big yeah, big chunk, like big important rulers, and that would be really cool, and I would love that. And I think they would be just like really good and implement like really good reforms and like I think like she they could both like very positively affect each other once, I mean, if they manage to trust, like trust and accept each other. And although like right now they're both pretty darn prejudiced against the small folks, like Sansa and is still like very very proud of being a highborn girl. I think that her experience as Elaine will teach her things, and Tyrion has been, like has been made so bitter after he defended King's Landing, and then he was called the demon little monkey, and now
Demon Monkey.
yes, and now we can't. But yeah, I think they can like they will overcome that, and they could, they could make some great rollers and make some positive reforms. I still don't think it's going to happen. I think that their marriage will be annulled, and but I'm very sorry, but um, maybe like you said, Tinker, it will be just enough of a plot point to prevent her from marrying Harry Harding. And yeah, so the next question is from Mr. Tony Teflon. Hey Tony, I don't think you're there. Yeah, I know it's really early. We're doing that really early today. So yeah, a really interesting question. Um, that is a speculation question, and it's in whose hands do you think major swords will end up? And he quoted Widow's Wail, Oathkeeper, Longclaw, Heartsbane, Dark Sister, Blackfyre, and Dawn.
So, since I have absolutely no idea where they're gonna end, this is was more of my wish desire where I want them to end.
Oh, my
I've got
my
to
my
admit.
my answer also is very like I have something that are, it's based on nothing. It's very very speculative.
Well, it's just it's difficult to guess where these swords are gonna end up. There's not really much to grasp from the books.
No, yeah, there's just one that would have more of a theory on, but the other ones, yeah, definitely. So okay, you want to start?
Okay, the first one that I've got a big thing on, which is actually two of them, is Widow's Bell and Oathkeeper. I hated what Tywin did with them. I hated that he took House Stark's sword and for himself and for his house. I wanted to strangle him. I wanted to kill. How dare he touch House Stark's sword and to defile them like that and give it to his own family? That son of a like, I hated him. So I want those two swords to be melted and ice to be reforged. And that sword will go to Rickon because, really, to be fair, Bran, even if he comes back to rule, he's not going to actually be able to wield that huge monstrosity of a sword. And I think Rickon is going to be a wild, vicious little warrior. So I want those two to be melted to all the ruby and all the red tint and all the lion and every tint from the Lannister and Blama house, whatever, to be taken off, and to ice to be reforged and to be back into House Stark.
Yeah, well, that answer, I'm very sorry, I cannot find the comment right now. Someone asked us a question that would say, like, ask us. I'm sorry, I wrote it down and I cannot find where I wrote it down. But ask us, do we think it will eventually be forged? And I said we were gonna touch on it today because we're gonna discuss those swords anyway. And so you answered the question. I'm very sorry. I like on the top of my head, I would say it's from Joshua, but I'm not 100% sure. And I know I said yes, we would touch on it, but now I don't know where I put the question. I'm so sorry. Okay, personally, like for those two, I don't think they will be reforged. I would really, that's off topic, but I really hope, like my heart's desire is that the original ice makes a comeback, like the one before, the Valyrian Steel one. That I'm like, yeah, it's got to be hidden somewhere in the crypts, and it's gonna play a really big role because it's gonna be really freaking magical swords that kill the White Walkers at some point. But I have no proof of that. That's just my heart's desire. I kind of really like, so for a lot of those, I went with the names, just like that, and yeah, obviously I want Brienne to keep Oathkeeper. Like that works with her so well. Either her, or if she gets killed, he has to go back to Jamie, because that to
No,
them
no, no.
is,
Those swords have to be back to House Stark, not House Lannister. House Lannister stole them.
yeah,
They
no, okay,
stole
that's
them
my answer.
after they
You
killed
have to
Ned
respect,
Stark.
give me time to give my answer.
Yes, sorry.
No, but yeah, I know. I know. I don't think. I mean, I'm not giving those back to. I mean, wait a second, because like wait for the second one. So yeah, Oathkeeper, like Brienne, and then I think it goes to Jamie, because like that's just that words Oathkeeper sums up his entire arc, so that's good. And since you want, so I was thinking, okay, Widow's Will, like that crappy name, that stupid,
Horrible.
yes, stupid. But okay, like I'm like, oh my god, it would be so good if Lady, like Widow's Will, Lady Stoneheart. Like, could she? I'm not sure she could technically wield a sword, but if she could, like, what better sword than Widow's Will? That's just like, you see what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be cool?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So yeah,
What if Jamie died?
yeah. Okay. What if Jamie died? Then we would get. Okay.
Because I believe that Jamie will die at the end of the books.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't know in the timeline. Yeah, I think Jamie will die too. I think Jamie's gonna die with Cersei. They're gonna die together the way they were born together. But
Oh, maybe he can kill Cersei with Oathkeeper.
yeah, but I don't know. I want something closer to prophecy. Like
Yeah.
then, but yeah, it could. Like Tristan and Isolde. I don't know. You see that, like
Tristan is old.
yeah, the medieval tale, like when they're, like they that this crazy love potion, and they really want to have sex, but they cannot have sex because they, well, anyway, and there's at some point they have to sleep in the forest together, so to make sure to not be tempted, they put the sword in between them. Like, that would be so cool if there was that kind of image with Cersei and Jamie and Oathkeeper in between them. Well, but yeah, no, I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be cool, like, if the same kind of trope, like Oathkeeper at some point will be tempted to help Cersei again, and Oathkeeper would remind him to keep his oath or something like that. But then what do we, okay, we have Longclaw.
Longclaw. I think that one's staying with John.
Well, okay, I have another source for John, so I'm like, yeah, okay. If John gets, okay, I don't want to jump ahead, but I think Dawn goes to John, because I think Dawn is Lightbringer. And I mean,
Wait. Where are you?
no, Dawn.
Dawn. Ah, the one
Dawn.
from the Starfell.
Yeah, the one from House Dane that is carried by the Sword of the Morning, being
Yeah.
Lightbringer. And yeah, I mean, it's been like, what Dane do we have? We have Edric.
Edric Dane.
Yes, he's cool. He's a cool kid. He's not freaking, like Sword of the Morning.
Oh, he's 12.
Yeah, but the story is, I mean, like, they're he's not gonna stay 12 forever. But the story are gonna end, within the next 2 or 3 years. So I don't know,
In 2 or 3 years, he'll be 15.
yeah,
Rob was very good at 15.
yes, you're not gonna make Edric be like a big enough character. Like Dawn is being so freaking hyped that he needs to like Why hype that sword so much if nothing's come of it? Like,
Well,
don't.
I think it's more the Sword of the Morning that's been hyped more than the actual sword.
Yeah, but the sword of the morning carries the actual sword. That is Dawn. That is Lightbringer. That I think needs to go to John, reborn John.
I don't know, but the way that they've said it, the Sword of the Morning, that it has to be a Dane, it feels weird of it not being a Dane.
No, yeah. I mean, I get it, but I. Okay, what Dane do we have? God, I don't want to say. So we have Edric. We have the Dark Star. That is a like lame poorhouse. The Dane from High Hermitage, right? And
Yeah,
yeah,
Illyria.
I think you could still no, I think you could still Dawn at some point to make it like appear in the story again. But because yeah, I mean he has to do
Wow, Dark
something,
start
right?
with Dawn. That would be scary.
Yeah, that would be very scary. But like he has to like again, like that character like we want a narrative purpose for him. So it could be to still Dawn to make it like out in the open again. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like to me, Dawn, Lightbringer, John, Azor High, pa pa pa, the White Walkers, like so to Longclaw, then I think it's going back to Jorah.
No,
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean,
no,
Jorah does not. Let's remind everyone that Jorah does not have grayscale in the books, and yeah,
no.
I think like all like full circle forgiveness and yeah.
I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. No.
Or you have a lot of
No, yeah.
Mormons to go. Like you have a lot of
Yes.
kick-ass Mormons women that
Mormon, Mage Mormon. It should go to Mage Mormon, and if not, to Alysanne.
well, they both I mean they're both like kick-ass girls that definitely deserve the sword. Like I totally agree. I
A
would say
thousand times more than Jorah.
oh
Jorah doesn't deserve to go back to the north.
no, he doesn't. He doesn't. But like, redemption's arc can sometimes work in mysterious ways. No, but I agree with you. No, he doesn't. I mean, those girls deserve like the sword a lot more than he does. But
I love Mage. We should just give it to Mage.
okay, we
Or
can
Daisy, if she hadn't died. I was so angry that she died.
I don't want to I don't want to upset you with that. I'm not that, I don't feel it that much. I see Jorah somehow for some reason reconnecting with the North, but yeah.
I
Um
do have to admit, if the seventh book comes out and Jorah Mormont actually makes it alive and goes back to his family and rules Bear Island, I will scream. You will hear my scream everywhere in the world. I will make a rant in YouTube like it's never been seen of hatred and rage and injustice, and I will tear that book to pieces in front of the camera.
yeah, I want to see that. Well, I'm gonna freaking do that if the end of the book is the White Walkers versus the dragon versus Bah and the just like mega Armageddon battle. Like that would make me so angry. Like I've invested years of my life, like literally like reading and rereading and studying that book. If that's the ending I get, freaking dragons versus freaking White Walkers, I'm gonna be very angry. So we both are
And I'm
for
gonna
it.
be so happy because that's what I want to see.
That's ridiculous. That could have been written in one book, if that's where we had to go.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna be the big ending. I think that's just gonna be a necessary thing to just finish them off completely because there are a lot of them, and just Dragonfire is very good to just get away. But I don't think it's gonna be like the main climax. I just think it's gonna be something that it's gonna be necessary.
Hmm.
I don't think. I also don't think it went through the whole trouble of seven bloody books just for the dragons and the White Walkers to go in it. But I will be disappointed if there isn't at least a bit of dragons and White Walkers in it, because I also think that the dragon things are just very dangerous. There's a reason that the Targaryens lost all their dragons. They're bloody weapons of mass destruction. You cannot really fight a Targaryen if they have dragons. And I think that the White Walkers is going to be a way that many of those dragons will die.
Yeah.
Maybe with some ice fighters or some ice dragons.
Yeah, I'm still. I mean, Tony made a really compelling point, but I'm still not sure I see ice dragons. But I
I've got to admit, I would love. This is just my wishes of my love for fantasy and Arya Stark. I want Arya to work one of those dragons. Do you imagine Arya Stark having control of one of those dragons?
that would be
It'd be so
horrible.
much fun.
That would be horrible. Like
I
she.
know. It's so awesome.
No, no, I want her to deal with her. Like I no, I want her to her wolves, like her pack. That's her thing. Like I don't see like yeah, it would be like epically evil, but I don't know. Emotionally speaking, I want her to like do things with her pack more.
Yeah. Oh, well, obviously her pack would be like the closest thing. But for example, Dark Sister, the Blade Dark. I wanted to go to Arya.
Oh yeah, no, no, I agree. I agree.
Because Danny, come on, Danny doesn't fight. She's never learned. She's never had any interest. She wouldn't know what to do with Dark Sister,
uh,
and and Sansa always loved a warrior woman. It's the reason why she called her wolf Nymeria about the Rhoynar queen that took Dorne with 1,000 ships, and she also loved Rhaenys and Visenya and how they rode on the dragons and the sword of Dark Sister. It's actually one of the things that I really liked that they did in the show, how they changed how she had the conversations with Tywin. And that one when she's talking, and she obviously knows more about the Targaryen princesses than Tywin knows, and how she's talking and how she talks about that sword, and that sword has to go to Arya.
no, I agree. I agree. Plus, it was. I mean, it's a woman's sword, so it makes sense. I mean, in the comment, people are discussing about like sunsetting a sword, which I don't know. I don't because you were saying like Danny doesn't know how to fight with a sword, which is true, and but like, do you see Sansa actually having a sword and sword fighting something? Tinker? Oh, I've lost Tinker. Okay. I'm gonna continue and hold on that question. I hope she joins us back soon because that wouldn't really be a clash of queens with only me. Um, so yes, I don't really see, to answer you guys in the comment, I don't really see Sansa wielding a sword in the story. Um, so I'm not really sure. Thank you, Ellen. I'm gonna try to continue, and so I can rant. Okay, so Heartsbane. That was the next one in the list, and I think Heartsbane has to go to Sam the freaking Slayer. You know, he needs a Valerian steel sword, and that would be cool. Plus, I mean, I know that's a little bit of of a show thing more than the book, Sam, but you know, like um is um in the show is always like, yeah, yeah, me and Gilly, that's my girl. I'm gonna protect my girl. This
Sorry,
is
I'm
oh,
back.
you're back. You're back. I'm just finishing on Heartsbane, and then I'll go back. So yes, I was just saying that Heartsbane, is how Starly and Sam is not only a slayer, but he's also quite a player. You know, so I would like Heartsbane to go to Sam, who I think is gonna, you know, like his main role is going to be his knowledge. That's going to be his main weapon. But we've seen him use a weapon. I think he will use a weapon again. Although his main weapon is still going to be his knowledge on how to fry the White Walkers.
I agree. I really want Sam to have Heartsbane. I also especially want him to have it because his father doesn't want him to have it.
Oh
And
yeah.
also the whole thing about him ending in the Night's Watch was the fact that Randyr Tarly didn't think that he was capable of being a warrior or being a leader. If Randall Tarly is, or if you're a man, you have to be a warrior, you have to be strong, and if not, you're just not good for anything. And he sent him to the Night's Watch. And in the Night's Watch, he was forced to really grow up. Because really, he was, when you're the son of a lord, you have everything. You don't have to fight for food, you don't have to work for clothes. Everything is kind of given to you. So he never was really forced to do anything else except learn a lot. And that is very powerful weapon, learning. But in his father's eyes, it was not. And because he was in the Night's Watch and he was forced to go through such horrible things, he's become a completely different person, a very strong person. And I think he's getting to the point in which he's actually going to be able to wield Heartsbane, because at the very beginning, it's true, his father would not have been able to give him Heartsbane because he would have gotten that sword and he was like, what the fuck do I do with this? But we're getting to a whole different Sam, and I love the fact, the fact that he would get the sword that his father didn't want him to get is like the perfect fuck you, Randall Tarley. I don't like Randall Tarley, as it's probably very obvious, and I really like Sam because I just think he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome and adorable, and I just want to give him a hug. Having that father, poor kid.
No, that's one thing I agree. I don't know a lot of Randall Tarley's fan, and I'm certainly not. Like, he was just fucking horrible. So the question I was asking you before was, some people in the comments were talking about Sansa having one of those swords. Like, I personally don't see Sansa wielding a sword in the story.
At all. No, at all. I don't like the idea of it's not that I don't like the idea of Sansa of the sword, but I like what he's done, the parallels of two sisters that have different weapons, and how he shows that one of the things that I like about George is that he doesn't show that there's only one way to being powerful. You know, it's not only the lords that are powerful. Littlefinger, look where he came from, and he's very powerful. Look, Varys, where he came from, and look how high he's gotten. It's the whole, everything is not just the soldiers or just the warriors. Everything is valid if you really know how to use it well. And Sansa is clearly words, manipulations, the political power. Those are her weapons, and that's what she's very good at, and that's what she's being groomed by Littlefinger. Well, Arya has always been a little savage, which is what we like about her. And she wanted to learn how to fight. She didn't want the dresses. She cannot stand the politics. Like, one of the things is if they would have ended in the opposite place, like Arya stuck in court and Sansa on the street, neither of them would have survived.
No,
Arya would have got herself killed in court, and Sansa wouldn't have survived in the streets for like 3 days. They just wouldn't, because each person has their weapons, and to try to give someone a weapon that doesn't belong to it, just no. I like the idea of Sansa being the great master manipulator, and Arya being the deadly, vicious assassin that will kill all of Sansa's enemies. I think they would make a great team. You know, if Sansa ends up ruling Winterfell, I can just see the two sisters ruling. Sansa will be the ruler, the one who, you know, talks to the lords and gets the lords to do whatever, and then she just sends Arya with their armies, or just Arya to kill people left and right.
Yeah,
they would make a great team.
Ruling. Pretend to be good and negotiate, and then send your sister on secret missions to kill people left and right.
Come on, that would be a fantastic team.
Yeah, of murderers.
Hey, that's the world that George has written. They've just adapted.
Okay.
The Freys deserve to be murdered. Yes, so do the Boltons.
The Freys deserve to be...
And the Greyjoys. Except Asha.
I don't know about the Greyjoys. It's complicated.
Really?
Yeah, but...
Aeron Greyjoy deserves not to die?
Aeron or Euron?
Oh, I hate the bloody names. They're too similar.
The Dumper?
No, the other one. The one the one who has the ship, the Silence, and they're all mutes.
Oh, I don't know.
Utter bastard.
I don't know what has he done that was so horrible so far.
Apart from pillaging, raping, and killing for absolute years, apart from making every single crew member in the ship mute so they do not talk, apart from wanting to take over the Seven Kingdoms, which means reading and raping and killing and pillaging, do I really need to give more excuses?
That's just your usual Sunday. Yeah.
That doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve to die. Horribly and painfully. And terribly. So does Victarion.
Yeah, but I don't like Victorian, so I'm okay with Victorian dying. Like I don't care for him one bit. No, it just yes, okay, I agree, but
I don't like the motto. The motto of they're just reavers and pirates and raping and pillaging and killing and taking women. No! Down with the Iron Islands. Burn them down.
Arya, you love Arya. She has killed a lot of. She has killed some people that were unleashed. She has also killed some innocent people. She's a freaking psychopathic murderer, and she's only 8 years old. You cannot be so lenient with Arya and then so cruel with anyone else who does bad things. Like,
It's different.
yeah.
It's different. Arya's a little girl in desperate situations. She's now being brainwashed by some death cult. It's very different, and I think she's eventually gonna. And the majority of the people that she's killed are soldiers and killers and bad people.
Yeah, we're not talking faceless men today, but that death cult, that yes, faceless men are a death cult, but they're telling her, like killing is sort of a ritual, and you do it like for a reason, not you don't kill to appease your anger, and she totally disregards that and does it in a horrible way. So they're not brainwashing her that much.
Well, the last guy that she killed, he really deserved it. He was on her list,
Yeah, it
and
was.
everyone on her list. There's a reason they're on her list.
And yeah, okay, I'm just
And she killed those two guys when she was in Harrenhal to escape, because God knows what had happened to her. The majority of the people that she's killed has been survival.
yeah,
That's
but
very different. She doesn't have an army of reavers that go around pillaging and raping innocent people just because they can. She does it because she needs to survive. She's all alone. A little girl without family. Very difficult situation. It's not also the act, but sometimes the reasons behind it. Sweet? Sweet? Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Hello? We seem to be having some technical issues again. I'm sorry, everyone. And where is Sweet? Okay, let's see if I can get Sweet back online. Huh. Okay. So, can you guys still hear me? Okay, yes, I seem to be online, but where is Anne? I swear to God, we really are cursed. This is just ridiculous. Oh God. Okay. Yep, so it's just me right now. Yes, okay. Let's see. Let's get on. I'll keep doing it myself since this is just okay, this is fun. Okay, we talk about Whittlesworth, Oathkeeper. I still think that they're going back to the Starks, and they should go back to the Starks. Longclaw, okay, to the ladies. I will not mention him, he's gonna die. Heartsbane, of course. Dark Sister, oh, Blackfyre. Blackfyre, this is the one that I'm not 100% sure. I wanted to go to Aegon, mainly because I want Aegon to be the real Aegon. But the whole thing is that I don't know if he's going to be the real Aegon, and there's a lot of people that have told me that they believe 100% for sure that he's just a Blackfyre, not a real Targaryen. Although Don Will actually really likes the idea that it would be a Blackfyre and not a real Targaryen, and also that would also wouldn't be bad. But it's since he's not in the show, it looks like he's gonna not be a big part, or maybe he's not gonna be very important. But I think it really should go to Aegon, because really, who else is it gonna go? It's not gonna go to Dany because Dany doesn't fight. It's not gonna go to Jon because Jon already has too many bloody swords. He's Azor Ahai, I believe it. He's gonna get a Lightbringer. He already has one of the swords, Longclaw. Like, what is he gonna be around? Carrying like 3 different swords? Like, is he gonna be one of those Game Boy or PlayStation characters when she's carrying one sword, then another sword, another? Blackfyre just to fight certain battles, then Longclaw just to fight others, and then Lightbringer to fight the Walkers. It would just be ridiculous. Then there's no really any other Targaryens to go to. There's also the theory that Tyrion might be a Targaryen. I don't go for that theory. But really, even if he was, he wouldn't be able to really wield a sword. So it has to be Aegon. It has to be Aegon. What do you guys think? Since I have no one else to discuss this with, I'm going to be talking to you guys down in the chat. Okay, Helen May. Then he has to reveal the Murmur's dragon, so Blackfyre should go back to House Targaryen somehow. Well, the Blackfyres technically were a part of the Targaryen house, like really are the bastards of House Targaryen. So if Aegon is a Blackfyre, it stays in the Targaryen bloodline. So exactly, Hillary, Blackfyre is really bigger than Tyrion. Tyrion wouldn't really be able to wield Blackfyre. So even if he was, which I don't believe. I want him to be the son of Tywin. I know that a lot of people thinks. I agree with every single word that comes out of Tink's mouth. Thank you very much, Christina. Thanks. I really want Tyrion to be the son of Tywin. I know that there's gonna be, if Sweet manages to get back and talk about the Tyrion question. See, Lady Sansa, I'm with you. I'm also not buying Tyrion the Targaryen. There's been a lot of mentions that he was the real son of Tywin. They're the one that they're always saying that. Yes, I know about the eyes, but really, Jenna, remember Tywin's sister? She was like telling to Jaime that he was really the son of Tywin, that in personality he was the real son, not Jaime, that Jaime was more like Tyrion. So, see, going with Jenna Lannister, she knows her family, and I really wanted that his real blood son killed him. I really kind of like that. So, okay, swords. Dawn. I don't believe that Dawn is Lightbringer. I'm not with Sweet with that. So I think Dawn should really go to Edric Dane. I would kind of like it. Edric Dane, would become someone later on. I really like the story of the sword. The sword of the morning. I really like. I'm looking really forward to see what happens in the Tower of Joy with all of that and seeing him. But I would really like to have another big sword of the morning, important someone. I don't think he's going to be Lightbringer. I don't think it matches the prophecy. And also, Dawn hasn't really appeared as of now. So, Blackfyre, Aegon, Dark Sister, Arya. It really, and I kind of love the name, and she really is the Dark Sister. She really is the Dark Sister. She even has the darker hair, the one with like the darker past. So why don't you think it's Lightbringer? It's just...
Hey Tinker, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're back.
We have big technical problems right now, guys.
I can still not see you. Okay, Street has come back. I still cannot see you in the chat.
Yeah, just hold on a second. We have a big problem.
Okay, we're having some big technical problem, guys. I'm sorry. I told you. We are cursed.
Yes, I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna have to go. I'm very sorry because we might not even. We had some problems. We might not even get the recording of this video right, so we're gonna have to go.
Oh. Oh, yes. Yes, they say that they understand. Oh, Lady Sansa, yes, they can see you and hear you. Then why can't I see you and hear you in the video? Oh, well. So, no deal, we have to go?
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Yes, I'm very sorry. Tinker will try to reconnect. We'll just both leave the chat and Tinker, I'll call you back right afterwards. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry about that. We'll keep the fourth question for later. That was a good question about Saivas that I cannot access right now. So okay.
Hey, well, at least we were here for a little while. It was
and
fun.
I hope you can see the video afterwards.
We did 3 questions out of 4. It was only 2 of us that got everything that happened. Hey, it wasn't so bad. And at least people seem to have been entertained while we were here. Did you guys enjoy yourselves?